Okay, so now we're almost done. We are going to talk about these small GTPases that are related to the first topic that we talked. So if you remember, RAS was a GTPase. So we're going to talk about a different type of those ones, of small GTPases that are can be involved in so many functions. You remember they are molecular switches, and they are definitely involved in different ways in cancer. So remember, they are molecular switches, and I very briefly told you that they are involved in hydrolysis. So here, if you have the GTP and you have the activated, yeah, here you can go to the hydrolysis of GTP, and it goes into GTP, and this is the activating protein, and here you have the opposite protein that it goes from GDP into GTP, yeah, and is this effector protein. Okay, so let me show you again. Let me delete this and summarize all the things that I just told you. I told you that um, small GTPases are a super family of enzymes that act as a molecular switches, as you saw here, and they are involved in regulating many cellular processes. They are involved in transducing a lot of information, many signaling pathways, and they this activated GTP bound and inactivating is the GDP bound state. So one is the activated and the other one is the inactivated. And this Jeff, this guanine nucleotide exchange factor, is involved in the GDP dissociation, as you can see here, while the GTPase activating proteins are in charge of stimulating GTP hydrolysis. Okay, so remember you have two proteins, yeah, that help the GTPase go from activated to inactivated stages. Now we're going to talk about from a very general perspective. We talk that they are a superfamily of enzymes, and we can divide it in five subfamilies. And we talk about these ones that are around 35 RAS type of RAS. But we also have this row, ARF, RAB, and RAN, and all of them are GTPases that are involved in different functions. So let's talk about some of these ones. So RAS, if you remember, it was in charge of cell proliferation, cell differentiation, survival, and in some tissues even apoptosis and changes in gene expression. However, this is not the only one that is important for cancer. There are other small GTPases that are important. So, for example, Rho, if you remember cell biology, is involved in cytoskeleton dynamics, changes in cell shape, cell polarity, migration, cell progression. So, again, changing uh, these molecular switches can also is important to in the progression of cancer. Also, you have these ARF small GTPases that are in charge of vesicle and traffic of endocytosis, as well as cell migration and division. Now let's talk about the two I already told you about RAS, that is cell proliferation, and Rho, that is cytoskeleton, and ARF, that is different vesicles. Now let's talk about the other two that we missed. The RAN are nucleocytoplasmatic transport and mitotic spindle assembly, while RAV is a very interesting one that is in charge also involving vesicle trafficking and vesicle docking. If you remember those topics, if not, we will talk about that in cell biology if you're interested in learning more about all these cellular details. Okay, so I think this is important that you remember. Small GTPases are those molecular switches that are very important. If they mutate, they now can they will not be a proper mitotic spindle. The vesicles you will they will not associate in the right way. You can have extracellular proliferation. The cell shape can change, and so they are associated with different type of cancer when there are mutations.